All right, today we are diving deep into one of the internet's most chaotic and, honestly, longest-running subcultures. It's a whole world built around one man's endless rage. This is the story of Emo Howlingwolf, and it's a wild case study in how online conflict can literally build a community.
And yeah, this quote right here, it really sets the stage perfectly. It's raw, it's angry, and it makes you ask the big question right away. Who is this guy? And why in the world are so many people watching him?
So, to really get our heads around this whole phenomenon, we're going to break it down into 6 parts. We'll kick things off with the man himself, then explore the world he's built, dive into the money and grudges that keep the drama going, and wrap up with what his digital legacy really says about internet culture.
Okay, Section 1, an internet case study. So, let's start with the basics. Who exactly is Emo Howlingwolf? Well, Emo, whose real name is Justin, has been streaming for years. And he's become known for this super intense, confrontational style. His long and frankly chaotic history online has created this massive collection of stories and feuds and inside jokes that his audience has meticulously documented as the lore.
Moving on to Section 2, the world according to Emo. Because to get the drama, you really have to know the key players and the core beliefs that keep this fire burning.
See, this is not a solo act at all. His entire online story is driven by his relationships. You've got his partner, Mike, a major financial dispute with a fan named Lady D, and these long-running battles with his detractors. And what's really wild is that 2 of his biggest antagonists, Gary Snowflake and Grampy Lobster, have actually passed away, but the conflicts around them are still central pillars of his content today.
You know, one of the most unique things about this whole subculture is its language. Emo has this habit of mispronouncing or just mashing words together, creating terms like ammunition instead of ammunition. These emo-isms become this kind of shared language for the community. But it gets dark too, like his use of PDF file as a slur to accuse his enemies of being pedophiles, which just shows you how deeply toxic these fights can get.
When you boil it all down, almost all of the drama comes from just a few core themes. Section 3, money, trolls, and grudges. These are the conflicts that just never, ever die.
Right at the heart of everything is money. Emma is absolutely convinced that there's a coordinated campaign by trolls that got his YouTube channel demonetized. But his detractors constantly point out that he has never, not once, offered any actual proof to back this up. And this belief directly fuels his whole idea of kickbacks. He sees these other creators making money from commentating on his videos, and he feels like he's owed a piece of that action. It's this constant, furious demand for what he thinks is his.
And this financial rage, it's perfectly captured by this one number, $1,600. He borrowed it from a fan, Lady D, but he's publicly refused to pay it back. His excuse? The trolls made it impossible by ruining his income. It's since become a legendary part of the lore.
So, let's get into Section 4, the anatomy of a rant. These conflicts often lead to these explosive on-screen meltdowns. And to really see how it works, we're going to dissect one of the most infamous moments in the Emoverse, the Mike Nelson's Plastic Playhouse stream.
The setup here was just a masterclass in psychological trolling. His detractor, Gary Snowflake, started a live stream pretending to be Emo's partner Mike, using a voice changer. Then he started taking questions from viewers, creating this direct, live parody of Emo's personal life.
I mean, the impersonation was just relentless and deeply personal. It was designed specifically to get under Emo's skin, and, as you can probably guess, it was ridiculously effective.
So Emo's response wasn't to just log off. Oh no. He went live himself at the exact same time, creating this bizarre, chaotic, split-screen battle. He was blasting music, screaming at his monitor, literally trying to drown out the parody stream with pure, unfiltered rage.
This incident just pushed him to his absolute breaking point. It resulted in direct threats and some of the most intense footage of him ever recorded. This is that moment where the online performance just completely evaporates and all that's left is raw anger for the whole world to see.
So after seeing something like that, you have to ask, why? Why does this exist? Who is watching this, and what are they getting out of it? Let's zoom out and look at the whole ecosystem that lets something like this thrive.
In this corner of the internet, people like Emo are often called lolcows. It's a pretty harsh slang term, but it's for someone whose, eccentric behavior can be provoked or milked for the amusement of an online audience.
And this creates a perfect, self-sustaining loop of drama.
It goes like this. Emo posts a video about something he's mad about. Commentary channels react to it. Emo then watches their reaction videos and gets even angrier, which leads to him making a new video about their reactions. Each side just feeds the other in a never-ending cycle.
And this is not just casual viewing. The community of people watching this is incredibly dedicated. They archive almost everything he does, compiling this huge amount of lore. They even use advanced AI tools to organize and analyze decades of content, treating it almost like a historical project. Okay, final section. A digital legacy. So what's the big takeaway from all of this? What does this totally bizarre digital world tell us about online identity and conflict today?
There was this one analysis of a similar internet personality that I think applies perfectly here. The theory is that underneath all the mockery and the rage, what viewers are really drawn to is this profound, kind of tragic human vulnerability, a desperate need for connection that, on some level, a lot of people can probably relate to.
So what this all means is that in this ecosystem, Emo Howlingwolf isn't just a creator anymore. He is the content. His entire identity, his emotions, they've all been shaped and defined by the very audience that he's constantly at war with.
And really, that's the final question to think about. In a world where online life can turn negative so easily, maybe the strange world of Emo Howlingwolf isn't some crazy outlier. Maybe it's just a really extreme example of our basic human need for connection, even if that connection has to be found in conflict.